Hello everyone! This is where our Coast to Coast trail starts. So if you want to do the Coast to Coast trail, but you want to do it at a leisurely pace, we're actually doing it over 3 days. And our starting point is right over here. So we stayed the night here at the Genting Hotel because it's very close to where we're supposed to start on the Coast to Coast trail, which is over in the Chinese Gardens. So it's a very comfortable night stay here, and had a good night's sleep. And we're now gonna head over to the library across the road and get some breakfast, and then we're gonna take a bus to our starting point at the Chinese Gardens. So see you there. So here we are at Jurong Lake Gardens, which is actually the starting point for the Coast to Coast route. We ended up taking an MRT instead to Lakeside MRT because we realized the bus we would have to wait for about half an hour. So we're gonna walk through this to the places that's suggested on the map. We're probably not gonna cover everything, but we'll get to see some of Jurong Lake and go through the Japanese gardens as well as the Chinese gardens. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we came from Lakeside MRT and this is where we are. We're gonna walk this trail down to where the dog run is, which is where the official trail is supposed to start from this entrance here. We're gonna walk through the Japanese gardens and come through the Chinese gardens and exit out there to where Chinese Garden MRT is. So on the way to the dog run, we came across this covered area, which is actually the information center, and you can scan here to get a map of the Jurong Lake Garden. And they also have a couple of DIY walking trails that you can go check out. They even offer a service here if you're feeling really tired and you don't want to walk. So I actually have a shuttle service that takes kind of like where we're going up to the Japanese garden and back, and from one end of the car park to here. So yeah, and toilets are nearby. I saw a sign, yes, there's toilets here as well. So you're all covered. So on we go. So this entrance is what makes me think about the Chinese gardens. I think the last time I came here was maybe when I was 8 years old. And back then, before they developed this huge thing called Jurong Lake Gardens, it was just the Chinese gardens, and then further on is the Japanese gardens. So they kept the original entrance, which is really nice, and you can see a lot of the Chinese elements with the tiled roof, and of course the Chinese words, and the arches as well. But we're not actually going to go this way. We're going to go to the entrance for the Coast to Coast trail. So we're going to head on to the butterfly area. So we're finally here at the official start. I did tell you this was a leisurely walk because it's 11:54, almost 12 noon, and then we're just starting. So we're over here and we're going to backtrack a bit, walk through this area around near where the Japanese gardens are, and then we're actually going to cross this side instead, the Moonrise Bridge. And then there's this little bridge we cross into the Chinese gardens area before going up over there.
This is the Chinese garden. Walking into the waterfall.
Ice cream shop.
Bonsai gallery.
Okay, we finally made it out of Jurong Lake Gardens. I thought we'd be stuck in there forever and never get out. There's so much to see in there, and we were just kind of cutting through it. I think you can definitely spend a whole day at Jurong Lake Gardens. Lots to do, lots to see. But we are off to our next location, which is Bukit Batok Park. So let's go. Pasar Malam. So it's I guess we just do a quick walk through. It's the afternoon. Watch your step, Ben. So not all the stalls will be open, but yeah, you can see them selling plants, kebabs, bed sheets, Thai milk tea, oyster cake. Got mochi, some traditional cakes. You can do the signs, Ben. Kueh tutu, tapioca cake. Burgers, kinds of snacks. So these are really bustling at night, like after work and everyone's back home. It's your Pasar Malam, which means market and night. So night market. But this is a really small one. Some places it's really huge. But this is like your typical housing estate where there are shops and everything. And this one's a pop-up though. So we're going in search of toilets.
Stay on track. Bukit Timah Tech Institution.
So you know you're on the right track because there's a sign here. You're on the Coast to Coast Trail. We're heading towards Bukit Batok Nature Park, 3.7 kilometers. We've come from Jurong Lake Gardens, which is 3.5 kilometers away. And you can see the whole trail. It's kind of where we started. We're here now, on the way here. We're going to end up around here today. So, on to Bukit Batok.
Bukit Batok Park Connector.
Alright, we're on the right track. The coast to coast trail map. Bukit Batok Nature Park is 1.6 kilometers away. And we're here right now. Over to Bukit Batok Nature Park. We're going to take a bit of a snack break there for carrying on to our last stop, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Here we go.
Walking along the side of Bukit Batok Nature Park.
Okay, we've made it at least to the Bukit Batok Nature Park, and this is where we are. And we're going to walk through the park to the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. But we're going to take a break here because we didn't have lunch. We're just going to take a short snack break before we go on to our last destination for today, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve Park. So, time for a snack.
Coming to the end of our little walk through Bukit Batok Nature Park.
So if you've got time, you can explore this park a bit more. There's lots of places where people sit down, have picnics, there's fitness parks. And if you go in, there is a quarry cliff, which is basically a big pond. And it used to be a rock quarry, but now it's been filled up with water. So it's quite a nice place to sit and picnic. And there's also a World War II memorial site here, and that's further up on the hill. Okay. And but we're walking past all that to get going round the edge of it. This is actually at the top of the hill. You can see there's a Bukit Batok Transmission Center as well, and from afar you can actually see the satellite towers up there. Okay, so from here we're going to cross the road. You can see across the road, this is the old Bukit Timah Fire Station, that building there with the red doors. We're going to turn right and walk up Upper Bukit Timah Road towards the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. And if you're interested in checking out the World War II memorial, you're going to have to walk up here, up this hill, and it's at the top of the hill. Okay, up the hill, and the World War II memorial is there, and you'll also get to see the towers, the transmission towers there. But we're not going up that way. We're gonna go this way, across the road. To the fire station. Or rather past the fire station.
Crossing over to Bukit Timah Fire Station.
This is the old Bukit Timah Fire Station. I remember there used to be next door to this place where the condominium is was the old Kickapoo factory, yes, and there's this giant statue of Kickapoo, big poster or whatever you call it. Yeah. And there was a 3-dimensional green spot bottle around this area. It's a pity that this walk is right by the roadside, because behind those trees over there is the rail corridor. And the rail corridor, so that's kind of behind those trees. The rail corridor is where the old Malayan railway track used to be, and there would be trains coming in from Malaysia into Singapore and end up at Tanjung Pagar railway station. But they've closed that railway station and they've turned that place where the railway track used to be into a walking trail. We can't even see it from here. I wish there was an access point from here to join the rail corridor, because it's a much nicer walk than walking along the road. But we'll see a little bit of it later on when we get to the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, and I'll show you where it is. So we just keep walking straight to the entrance of Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Okay, so we're walking towards Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, making this turn towards Hindhede Walk. I'm going to show you where the rail corridor is. You can see some people walking up there. That's part of the rail corridor already. So if you keep walking down this road, you'll get to the foot of Bukit Timah Hill, which is, I believe, the highest hill in Singapore. It doesn't compare to any mountains or anything, but that's what we've got. And it's a good hike up the hill if you want to do any kind of uphill training. The hill, straight ahead. So you see some people in the distance. They're coming down the hill. Yeah, we're not going to go up the hill, but we're going to go up to the rail corridor, which is connected to this path. Okay, well, this is the rail corridor. As you can see, one end leads up to Tanjung Pagar, 11.5 kilometers, and down this way it goes down all the way to Woodlands, 12.5 kilometers. So the total distance is 24 kilometers, although it seems longer because you're going to take a break for lunch and stuff like that. It is a lovely walk. It's something you can definitely do one whole day, but that's another walk for another day. We are going to end off here because this is checkpoint number 3, I think, on the coast to coast walk. And we are going to start around here for day 2. So Bukit Timah Nature Reserve is checkpoint 2. So thanks for walking with us. I'm very glad it's been a good day. The weather held. It looked like it was going to rain, but it's not. What we're going to do now is we're actually going up to Beauty World MRT station, which is the closest MRT station. And then we're going to make our way back home because we've got something on. But if you're not staying in Singapore, as in like you're not from Singapore, you might want to find a hotel which is on the downtown line, and then you can start your trail again tomorrow from the same place. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for walking with us.